Talked about with Steve the showpiece event, the championship titles, etc. But there's two other major areas here. There's the league stuff, and then there's the open events as well, and all the regional stuff. Give us a bit of an insight into sort of how that's going to work.
Okay, so for the first few months of next year, of course, things are still settling down to normal. So the league system is not something that we can actually push at the moment. But when we can, it'll be an opportunity for the local leagues to register with the MAD affiliated brands and be a part of the system. So one of the showpiece events that we talked about yesterday was the National League Championships. That is entirely based on the league system. That is made for that, and that's the peak of the league system. So when you play in the league system, you ultimately represent your team, as you would anyway, but you also represent your region, and across an entire region, the top performers, if you like, will get selected to represent the region within their super region. As we talked about in previous videos, there's 16 of those. The super regional championships will then find the best region 3 times per year, but at the same time also identify those individuals that can represent the whole super region in the National League Championships at the end of the year. And that's the big one. That's the almost the League World Championship, if you like. Yeah. And not only that, there's a second part to it as well, which is specifically for individual teams rather than regions. So if your Monday night team is the best individual team in a region, you can do the same thing again. So your team against 15 other single pub teams, if you like, will represent Super Region and go on to a national finals as well. So it's a scaled down version, but it's for your bunch of mates on a Monday night. You can all go and play together in a separate event.
Sounds marvellous. And you can achieve all this just being in your own region. So you're not there's not a huge amount of travelling until you perhaps get to the top end, you know?
No. So your routine, I mean, I used to play 4 nights a week. I don't anymore. That's why I've hardly got any hair left. But if you play anyway, and you can be affiliated and go on to greater things, then you haven't had to change your routine, you haven't go out your way, and you're getting recognised for your abilities.
Yeah.
You see, and I think that's one of the appeal for certainly the ground level players. They don't have to do anything more. The old system, again, like we covered before, you have to make a special effort to go to Super League, perform there, play for your county. That's fine. That still exists. That'll always have its place. This is just a different approach to it, where you don't have to make that special effort. There is a membership involved, of course, but yes, this is just part of that membership. You can represent your team as you would anyway, your region where you already live, on a wider platform.
I mean, can we just clarify this? Because obviously social media, everybody likes to put their point of view across and what have you. This isn't pushing out anybody else or trying to take over an organisation or anything. Is it everything that has happened before within the amateur sport, whether it's your county stuff and whatever, that will still continue?
Yeah, you'll still be there. This is
just brand new. Something else.
Yeah, this is standalone alternative option. Yeah, we're not at war with anybody. It's just another option for the dart player who's very keen, if they are very keen, even if they're not hugely keen, but they still want to see where they can go doing what they already do. The option is there for them. It's not going to be for everyone, perhaps. That's fine. That's but it's still there. And a lot of people who are curious and they want to develop their career without necessarily going down the original route now has that opportunity to try something fresh.
Why wouldn't they? I mean, after last night, we're all talking about darts again. Amateur darts, not professional darts. We're talking about amateur darts here. I think a lot of people need to remember that. You weren't putting on a show for the PDC or for professional game. That was amateur darts. We've got sponsors going, hello. You've got people that run events, and we'd like to talk about that actually in a second, the open events for MAD. People that have got venues. Pubs have been in disarray in clubs over COVID. Surely now this is another opportunity to, make a few bucks,
Yeah, no, it's really inspiring. The event last night featured players which are, perhaps former professionals or they've been to World Championships. The important thing is, of course, that they don't have the PDC Tour card, which is the firm boundary, which MAD ends because it's no longer amateur. Everything else it's elitist and it's not an open system. So that's clear. Steve said yesterday that the other element to MAD is that it's a parachute for the professionals that are coming off the tour.
Yeah.
So still hit the ground running in their amateur career and maybe aspire to get back to professional level in years to come. And what we had there last night, the event last night, a classic example of those players that have been on the fringes before, never quite made it. They've done lots, but not necessarily made it to the pro status that is required right now to be classed as a professional, if you like. Of course, Scott's former world champion, Wayne's the world champion at the moment. That's in an amateur system. That's not a professional level. That's absolutely fine. So you've got that end of it, as well as the upside and I suppose like the downside from professional, all meets together at the same place. And this kind of event shows the kind of talent that exists within the amateur system, and it will inspire venues, organisers, promoters to put on events to feed into the MAD event system and really make a healthy amateur scene.
Well, if there's any promoters out there or anybody that doubts it, obviously I am not involved in all what you did last night, but in the day, yes, I was hugely lucky to speak to all of the players yesterday. And I can assure you now, every single one of them, the eyes were lit. They were ready to go. You know, if the players are inspired to play, then that surely is great for promoters, event organisers to know that these guys are up for this. The picture behind you, that gentleman was on fire the way you just talked about everything yesterday. I remember listening to Daryl Fitton talking about all his career from the 70s onwards, you know, really excited about all this. That surely this is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, they are all advocates for the amateur game. They're very much behind the product. They see what value it adds. And of course, they themselves are aware of the professional system. And if they want to do it and they go for it, then great. But it'd be marvellous if people could make it to the professional system by playing amateur darts via our system or any others. If they graduate, if you like, classic example is back in 2014, Stephen Bunting won the World Championship. He did the lot. He did county youth, county seniors, video tour, won the world, graduated to PDC and thrived. So that's the same pub to pro pathway that we are trying to offer, and it offers that opportunity to any dart player.
Wonderful. I mean, same for me for the JDC, watching kids go through academies to the top end, Keen Barry's, Bradley Brooks, people like that. It's just wonderful to see that. So surely we want to see the best for everyone, no matter how old you are, really. So, as well as being in your local area, doing all the regional games, playing with your teams and what have you, and then all this top championship titles, in that section, we've also got open events. So Steve just mentioned there, if you become an affiliated, is it a venue or affiliated open event organizer or something, and then when the players come to play, they will be sort of looking for, oh, that's MAD affiliated, I'll go that one because I can get more points, yeah?
Yeah, that's right. So any events that have been running for years traditionally, or new ones that pop up, they can, providing they meet a certain criteria, which will be available to view once again. We published it before, but we will publish it again. Okay. Providing they can meet that, which by default they will anyway, they can just ask their regional director to be MAD affiliated and be put on the website, so players who are MAD members can look online to find these events.
Right.
Not restricting players that aren't MAD members. There's still open events, they can still play. Of course, they won't gain MAD points that are available from it. So, yeah, exactly. There is an option to have MAD exclusive events. That's creative license with the regional directors. It's very much up to them to drive membership, but open events will still be very much a thing. It's up to a promoter if they want to be MAD affiliated. Of course, it'd be in their interest too, because it's likely to drive custom. But it's all very optional. And if they do decide to be MAD affiliated, it's not going to cost them anything. So if anything, it'll be in their interest to do so just to get more players there.
Now, on a personal note, you must have gone through a hell of a day yesterday, from all the action and all the sort of media stuff and all that sort of highlight for you yesterday.
I think it was
being in
highlight for me yesterday. I think not seeing Steve break down, actually, to be honest, because I gave him a lot of trouble yesterday with various problems that are popping up around. And that was not counting all the other stuff that's beyond his control and the stuff that he had to deal with as well. I mean, props to him for not breaking down and keeping his cool all day. I mean, it's a lot of respect there. Also, I suppose taking John Rawlings and Paul Nicholson and getting back to their hotel after their first shoot, and some of their stories and their opinions on things are quite in a ring. But I think we were pleased once the stream went out and the matches were going out and it was getting smoother and the day was coming to a close, and the relief sense felt by all of us that it was done, and now the hard work starts.